Yo, what going on? It's your boy Ja from the Same Difference Podcast. Back again. Who's your favorite podcaster, man? Like, I'm really the hardest working podcaster in the VA right now, you know. Who be hitting you back to back and then still doing content on the page and whew, whew, you thought I'd be made for this shit for real. But yo, so we back with another one. And also don't forget for those out there, I will be on the One MC podcast talking about some sea stories from back when I was in the Navy with my partner and ex seamate Keith Harris. He goes by Keith. He was on the show last week. I'm gonna be on his show, and that's what it's about, collabing. So check me out on the One MC tomorrow at 8 p.m. 2000. That's for our service members at 2000 tomorrow. All right. But tonight what we're gonna be talking about, me and the guy I'm about to bring forward for you, what we're gonna talk about is, are we raising soft children? Yeah, y'all have heard of gentle parenting and all of that stuff, but what we want to dig down into is gonna be very sports oriented because he's a sports oriented guy, and there was a video that came out or resurfaced, as he said, of Marshawn Lynch at his training camp, and we wanted to drill down into that and get into some other stuff. A lot of it is sports related, but the bottom line is, are we raising soft children? So we gonna get into it, but you know what we gotta do first? Hit you with these messages. Fix it only, baby. All right. What going on, Kerry?
What going on, Big Jaw?
Hey, thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you coming on.
No problem, man. No problem.
So I already told the people why you're here. I'm gonna say it again. We're here to talk about, are we raising soft children? It's gonna be sports oriented because Kerry's a big sports guy and he has a background in it as far as coaching. He's a parent, so we want to dig into it. But Kerry, can you tell the people why you're here? Tell them a little bit about
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Of course, Jaw introduced me, Kheri Rhymer, born and raised St. Croix, Virgin Islands. 35, just turned big 35 this month. So big milestone, big milestone. A little bit about myself, born and raised St. Croix. My mother, Pat Brown, many people may know her. My uncles, everybody know him, Jerry Brown, hail from the Virgin Islands, came out of high school, played professional baseball in the MLB, big tight knit family, big family. Everybody know who we are. Everybody seen, the yellow house, Prince Street. I have 4 kids of my own. I'm a father, I'm a parent. Was a student athlete at one point, Central High School, took my talents, to the college level, played that for a little bit. So I know my ins and outs. I know, what it takes to go there, what it takes to play for the next level, and whatnot. So I'm just here for Big Jaw to, give you my opinion and my insight and, how I feel, what I see going on in the sports world as a parent and as a coach.
Thank you, thank you. Great intro. Thank you for going into your past a little bit so they have context as to why you're here. And also for those, you know, looking on, I'm telling you, we really are the people's podcast. Kerry reached out. He wanted to talk about it. Sure, let's do it. Let's set up a date. We ain't gonna go on all hoity toity. We don't charge. We are the people's podcast. You want to talk about something? Link us. You can come on. Listen, and it's not a robot. It's really us. And
Max.
but I digress. All right. So there's a particular video that had you like wanting to come on and talk about it specifically.
Oh yeah.
It's the Marshawn Lynch video. You say resurface, right? What's the? Can you give us some
Yes.
background on that one?
Pretty much the Marshawn Lynch video. Everybody who knows or follow football, Marshawn Lynch, aka Beast Mode, play for Seattle Seahawks running back. He has a camp. Most professional for athletes host a camp in different cities, and he has a football camp. And apparently, what what the topic is or what happened was parents approach him on how he interacts with the athletes, aka their children, and they don't like how he interacts or talks to them, be like he talks to them like they're grown men. He may use profanities, he may be a little too harsh, or whatever the case may be. So that's a video. Like I say, it resurfaced. It it first came about like a year or two ago, or whatever the case may be, and I really had no like chance to like air my opinion. But I felt like Marshawn is showing that tough love. It may be how I felt is single moms who may have approached him. I'm assuming it was single moms who approached him and is kind
Yeah,
of
we don't know that.
yeah, we don't know. I'm just assuming it may be single moms. Most of them may be single parents, and he pretty much was like, as it was interacting with him, the parents, he was like, "Do you have a man in the house? Do you have a male figure in the house?" Meaning that he don't want to interact with them and talk to a woman or like go back and forth with them. He wants to interact with a father, a male figure. And they was like, "Hey, we don't like how you talk to the kids. We don't like how you are with them. You are a little too harsh, using profanities. You're not going to talk to my child like that, da 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 da." And I was like, I side eye it. I'm like, you kind of babying your kids. Like that's tough love as far as sports,
Mhm.
being a sports and building character and building that discipline. Like everybody gonna make mistakes in their life, and there's consequences to those mistakes. And those
Okay.
consequences is you're gonna do push-ups, you're gonna do laps.
And
So
and for context, you said you were a student athlete and you've done coaching, correct?
yes,
Which school was it? Was it Central or Complex?
Central.
Boop, big Caribs in this. Stop playing.
Carers in the building.
Oh, so you ain't gotta say no more. We got the clip. We could all watch it together, and you could
Yep.
decide for yourself what you see. All right, here we go.
Say that, maybe you should just let them know because they're all here.
Is there a man here with you? Okay. I do. I cuss a lot. I cuss in front of them. So look, I cuss a lot.
Every one of them's
All right, that's okay.
No, my son's in jail. It's not okay.
Is there a man here with you?
No, I'm here.
Is not a man here with you?
But I'm here. What does that matter?
Because I'm
My
going to
son
speak to a
is leaving.
man.
I don't care. It's my son.
Tell them
Oh,
that-
did you want here too? They all
But I'll tell them that if they're not doing what they need to do, then yes, there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
If it takes that amount of time for when I tell a kid to do something and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then there is consequences, like push-ups, like running laps,
Like telling
like
them to get away from your drill.
like telling them to get out of my drill if they're not participating,
Get out of
doing
your
right,
drill.
get
I'm
out
not
of my
even
drill,
cussing. I'm not even
get out of my.
say that. Maybe you should just let them know because they're all here.
Is there a man here with you? Okay.
All right, all right. So there's the clip, right? And Marshawn Lynch, he's a wild boy. Period. So with him,
Wild boy.
I'm sure he did gain the shit a little bit, but it's Marshawn Lynch. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the why
From
I'm here,
Oakland. He
guy.
from Oakland.
Oh, from the streets for real. Like even
He
when
from the
he's
streets.
on TV shows, he'll be cussing, and he with white people, he with black people, he with anybody,
Yeah.
and that's
He's
who
his
he is.
original self.
So now about that with the cursing,
hmm
you said you did coaching, right? Does the cursing start at a certain age? Like, how does that even work?
So so the cursing starts at a certain age. Is like cursing starts, I would say, and I'm not saying this is right, but as a coach and me being with another coach, we coaching 6, 7 graders, 6, 7, 8 graders. So they know already what's right from wrong. They know what they need to do. They already know what to come in. So we already like, if they like first day, everything is a walkthrough, introductions, yada yada yada, formal. As practice goes on, we tournaments, traveling, we doing the same thing over and over. Then cursing comes in, pretty much like frustration, irritation. Y'all not listening. Y'all, we doing almost the same things every day. Everything is pretty much repetition. Like, what are y'all not getting it? And then y'all not paying attention. Y'all, looking off somewhere else. Y'all playing when it comes practice times. And then when it comes time to do the drills, y'all messing up. And then y'all start fussing, fighting, y'all blaming each other. And then we start getting into, the profanity. And because as a coach who's been their age and who's played the sport, we're passionate. And we're trying to give you the knowledge that we have. We're trying to pass it on. And we feel like y'all taking it for granted. We feel like they're taking it for granted. So when we're trying to pass on that knowledge and we're trying to drill these stuff and these little plays, these little schemes, these little skill sets into them, and they either lollygagging, they're not taking it serious, and then when we start scrimmaging and they start messing up and just start making like little simple mental mistakes, we start be like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, we just did this drill like 10 minutes ago. Like, this what we talking about. Like, we trying to tell y'all pay attention, this, that, and the third, and y'all over here playing, lollygagging, y'all walking through the drills, not taking it serious. So the profanity starts coming in, and there's parents in there as well too, and they don't say nothing to us because they're sports parents as well. Like, there's parents who play sports like volleyball, baseball, softball, basketball, whatever it is. So they know what it is too. So we haven't had that interaction Marshawn Lynch had with those parents. Parents don't come to us be like, hey, you talk to our child too rough or whatever. Like, no, they understand what we're talking about and why we say the things we say. So they get it. So that's pretty much just how it is when the profanity comes in. Is not like, oh, you like F you, like, I don't care about you. No, we're passionate and we want you to be great, just like I was great. And I'm passing knowledge on to you. So when you bullshitting, then I'm getting frustrated and irritated. And then I got to talk to you like a grown man off the street for you to get it.
Is it effective? Do you think the cursing and that particular set of language is effective?
Is effective when we get our point across. So for prime example, in a practice, like I said, we'd be doing like a little simple drill. Like, so every team has the good players, the not so good players, and then the players who are, at the bottom. So everybody running through little simple drills. We expect the great players to be a role model for the not so good players and the players at the bottom. So when they BSing, it's consequences. Like, oh, you think you got, special privileges? I bet. The next time y'all fuck up, everybody running laps. And then they'd be like, oh, coaching is serious. Because we're like big brothers and mentors to them first. And then coaches, and we implement coaching after. Until they start taking it for granted and be like, yeah, coaching is serious. So they would go through the drill, fuck up, I'd be like, everybody on the line, get your asses on the line. And everybody be like, oh, running laps, running suicides, boom. And then after practice, we'd be like, yo, like, this what the fuck we talking about? Like, y'all out here bullshitting, playing around. Your parents put money in this shit. Y'all gotta take this shit serious. Like, this, that, and the third. And then like we talk to them like grown people, but we get our point across. Like, we talk to them like, yeah, you my boy, and I gonna talk to you like you my boy,
Okay.
so we could get our point across.
Why do you think this is an example of why children are being raised soft?
Because they're being too coddled. I don't know. Me and you come from two different eras, but we grew up on that tough love era. Is like Marshall is, your actions have consequences. When you mess up in school, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna get punishment. In sports, if you mess up and you don't do what you need to do, your punishment is you're gonna do push-ups, you're gonna run laps, or get a fuck out my drill because you wasting my time. And then so is not a lot of that in this time because it's too much coddling. Parents are coddling their children. Like it's too much nurturing, like, oh, come here, it's gonna be all right. No, that's why it's important to have that male figure in your life to show you that tough love. Like it's somebody in your life that needs to be the villain to give you the harsh truth of, look, this is what it is, this is what it's gonna be. If you don't do what you need to do, this is what's gonna happen. If you really want to do this, then you need to do this and you need to stay focused. If you don't want to do this, stay home and be up under your mother and let her nurture you and, feed you, cook you food. You could play your Roblox, your video games, whatever the case may be, and then you're going to be soft. That's all it is. That's all. Is no discipline or no tough love. Is no like real consequences in the house. Is if you're getting punishment, I'm going to take your phone and that's it. Ain't no yard walk. Ain't no I gonna take your system out the room. You're gonna be in solitary, read a book. Ain't none of that no more. I'm gonna take your devices and that's it. You still get to watch TV, you still get to do all this stuff you've been doing. Ain't no real consequences.
So you come with your coach hat on, right? So putting the parent hat on now. Obviously, before I even go any further, obviously putting your hands on a child, on anybody, is too far, right? But as a parent, what is a bridge too far for you as a parent? Like, what could you see and then be like, all right, nah, stop this?
A bridge too far as a parent is pretty much a Bob Knight type of coach, because Bob Knight used to gain he athletes face, pushing them, chucking them. Like you could cuss them, you could, tell them like, yo, like, get the fuck out my line, go run a lap, go do push-ups, you could do stuff like that and I'm gonna be okay because, I've seen it and I've been through it. But once you put your hands on my child, that's a different type of ball game. Now, all right, big dog, like I give you free range to coach my child, be a mentor. But when you want to take it too far and you want to get physical, then I gotta step in, my boy. You feel me?
What about throwing helmets and kicking down Gatorade and stuff like that?
Me being a parent and seeing my child throwing the helmet and kicking the Gatorade, or seeing a coach?
Nah, the coach.
Seeing a coach throwing the helmet and kicking the Gatorade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I see it as passion, but if it's a level to it. If it's something like so simple, like a little, little careless turnover, or something like, you didn't get back on defense, or you just being lazy and you just act out of frustration, you just start overreacting and throwing chairs and, throwing Gatorade, or you're in field miss a routine ground ball and you get upset, then I'd be like, all right, the big dog, like you kind of over it right now. Like that's an old play. Like it happened, you frustrated, okay, but when you start throwing stuff and you start throwing stuff on the field and on the court, yeah, I gotta look at you like, dog, like the play done gone, reset, regroup, get the next person, get the next basket, play defense, something. Like ain't really that serious. It's not that serious to just be throwing stuff and carrying on like you a 10-year-old. Like, yeah, everybody gonna get frustrated, but ain't that serious to be throwing, bats and helmets and Gatorade and cheers and no.
Why do you think, as a coach again, why do you think Marshawn was specifically asking, is there a man with you? He did not even want to talk to them. He went and talked to the camera before he went and talk. Why do you think he did that?
Because we are taught as men that is never to go back and forth with um a female or a lady, like because it don't look good. We and it might come off as a sexist a little bit, but women tend to go off of emotion. Women tend to go off of emotions and feelings, and they might let the emotion get the best of them. They might say something crazy, and then y'all in a back and forth. That's why he acts like, "Yo, did you come here with a male figure? Did you come here with a man?" So he could talk to the man because it's more of a logical conversation and a better understanding than a mother being a mother bear defending her cub. Because all she doing is defending her cub. She's not trying to think logically. She's not trying to listen to understanding it or reasoning. She just here to be like, you cuss at my child in tears, is defense mode. So where
Yeah.
is who a father who is more logical, understanding, and a man, he gonna sit down, he gonna listen, he gonna understand, and he gonna respond with understanding than respond, off of feelings.
Okay.
That's why he was
Um,
asking for, did you come here with a male finger?
to be clear, men do get emotional, especially with sports, because I stay out of those arguments. From the time you start referring to the team as we, us, I don't even get into it because me not serious into it.
Yeah.
And if you talking like you there on the bench, I ain't want to get into the argument.
Facts.
But
That's in super
with
fans.
no, Marshawn, the thing though, I in that particular instance, I could see why it would kind of piss you off because it's like you asking for the manager, man. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to me. So I understand what he was doing, but I can understand
Exactly.
why it would more ramp up the thing. You check?
Mm-hmm.
No, we got some more stuff. So sports related, staying in the sports arena. Um, you're saying that the
Mm-hmm.
children are being soft and they're being coddled, and the Marshawn Lynch thing is an example of that. However, what about nepotism? Are we saying that gonna make your child soft, not having to work for it, or is it just you building your legacy? And this is what you're talking about. We know that
LeBron and Bronny.
Bronny, yeah, like LeBron and Bronny, LeBron been building a legacy for a while now, but to have his own
Oh yeah.
child join his team while he's still playing, what do you think about that?
Um, is like I said, is different, different. I would say variations to it, different aspects to it. Different, like from me and you on the outside looking in, is two things. As a parent mindset, we'd be like, that's dope. Like Bron and his eldest son playing in the league together. We ain't never seen that
Yeah,
ever before. Like all we seen is the closest we come to is Doc Rivers and Austin Rivers. But that's coach son. We've never seen an active player play with his son in the league. That's dope. I like it. I'm here for it. As a fan, if you're a Lakers fan, if you're a sports fan, basketball fan, is like why? Like we could say, oh, Brandy don't have the skill set yet.
what you
Brandy
mean?
don't
Why
have the
you think?
skill set. It, as a person who been following the game, who played the game and played it at the highest, one of the highest level, is like Bronny really ain't show us no like real skill set, no real skill level to be like, wow. And he had no like wow factor. It's just like oh Bronny could jump, he could dunk, he got hops like he father. This and the third, he playing basketball like Paz, but it's like we haven't seen nothing resembling like, yeah, Bronny deserves to be in the league. Yeah, Bronny deserves to be picked drafted or whatever the case may be. Like this just Bron flexing his muscles pretty much to get his son in the league. So as a sports fan, like Bronny really he ain't that good, but he ain't that bad. But he ain't that good. But a lot of people be like, he ain't good enough to be on an NBA team or be drafted by an NBA team. So that's like the sports side of it. I thinking as a parent, business aspect, that's dope. I get to play with my eldest son.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. As a business part of it, bringing in revenue, jersey sales, TV ratings.
Staying in the house.
It just exactly is the biggest thing.
Darren saying that I think it could be a bad thing potentially and a distraction to the team. Here's my thing. Yes, I believe that your children should earn it. I also believe in your children are your legacy, and you should do everything in your power to, make the road easier. So that's a double-edged sword. So what Darren here is saying, I think it could be a bad thing potentially and a distraction to the team. Nepotism, I think most people would not have an issue with nepotism if the person that you're putting in place was like good. If they're really built for the job and you groom them from a child and all of that there, and they're gonna make a difference that's positive, we wouldn't care about nepotism. The problem is they usually aren't that. You know what I'm saying? They usually were they had things easier than you, and you were able to pass on some stuff, but you pushed them, you catapulted them into this position. Let's be free.
And it's not to say that Bronny is like the most terrible or the bottom of the pile basketball player.
Yeah.
But it's just like I said, from a sports fan aspect and a person who played the game, is like we haven't really seen like NBA talent wow factor. Like same with Giannis and his brother Tannis. Like everybody like Tannis is.
Oops. All right. It happens. Hey, so y'all tell me what you think. We'll wait and see for him to reconnect. Tell me what you think about that, man. Bronny and LeBron on the same team. Mind you, LeBron already old. He damn near maxed out his time already. What do you think about that for real? Because it is nepotism. It is LeBron flexing his muscles, but it's also him building a legacy. And the Lakers themselves, that's a legendary team. You check. So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
Legendary.
Tell us in the comments.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
some technical difficulties.
You good. It happens when you live, man.
But yeah, I like Giannis, like we could say Giannis is a prime example. Like when you see Giannis get in the game, although Giannis Antetokounmpo is an NBA champion, he is an NBA champion, but it's like, did you earn? Like people question his championship ring. Like, did he earn that? Like, what did he do? This and the third, and then it's like when he gets in the game, it's like you see in a whole bunch of like big dog. If you come open gym, I bust in your ass, type of shit. But it's like, but it's like people see that and it's like, why is Giannis in the league? He's not that good, and it's like, you have to have a certain skill set to get to that NBA level. Granted, yes, your brother is Giannis, probably one of the best power forwards in the league, or whatever you want to rank him as, and he might have that pull. He's the face of Milwaukee Bucks. He have that pull, like, oh, I want my brother to play with me. That could have gone on, but it's like you have to have like a certain skill set to even play in the NBA. So the skill set is there, but it's like, are you that good? And this from a sports.
Would you have done this? Would you have gotten that far if you hadn't had that famous person in line?
Exactly. And then, like I said, as a parent, and then as like a person who has siblings, I'd be like, yo, that's dope. You got your brother on the same team as you. just like great stories for your parents, your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces. Cool, I all for it. But it's like, as a fan, we want to see production. We want to see
Is
you
it gonna be
produce
good
my
for the
ball.
team? Yeah, is it
Is
gonna be
it
good
going to
for
be
the
good
team?
for the team? Exactly.
Yeah. Darren asks, says, I think the problem is how LeBron seems to control the Lakers. That's a friggin' fact. I use his agency with Rich Paul to orchestrate him being on the team, but trying to act like they didn't or weren't a part of the decision. What do you think about
That's PR. All I gotta say is PR. That's just PR talking. It's like if you don't believe LeBron had no say in JJ Redick being hired as a head coach, then you just as blind as Stevie Wonder. We all know LeBron had some say in the Lakers handpicking JJ Redick as a Lakers next head coach. As far as the whole Rich Paul thing, I'm on the fence about that. It was news that Rich Paul was going around telling teams that, oh, if you don't draft if you draft LeBron's son to your team, I'm gonna leave this country. Or I don't know about that. That was kind of like far fetched and like way left field. But LeBron definitely had his hand in his son playing for the Lakers and joining the team, and he had his hand in JJ Redick becoming the Lakers' next head coach. Like you
that?
can't tell me
Absolutely.
no different. Like from his time
Absolutely.
in Cleveland, his time in Miami,
Hmm.
LeBron always had his hand in picking who he wants to play with, who he wants to come play with him, and all of that. You can't tell me no difference, no way, no how.
All right. So are we on board with the nepotism or we off it?
Like I said, I'm on board with it. I'm all for it. Like I said, you have to separate yourself as far as thinking from a parent, a homeboy,
Mm,
sibling, brother, sister standpoint. Like, yo, like if I ever get like a cousin, me and my cousin, day one cousin, he get in the league, I want to see if I could try and, get in the league too or
okay.
get somewhere like, but as a fan standpoint, we need production. You bringing a championship to our team? Is your son gonna bring a championship? Your cousin gonna bring a championship? Your sister gonna bring a championship? If not, why you get drafted for? Cause your cousin playing for we? Okay, that's all I see.
Chemo asks, why do we get mad about nepotism in our favor, but other communities built generations on the nepotism when we suck salt and complain? It's funny that you asked that because we gonna talk about why this next nepotism family, I hate them. But I think we pretty much summed it up. It's not that we're against it. We just want to know that the team is going to prosper off of this.
I think what chemo means is like not just in a sports aspect, but in like a business, Fortune 500 company aspect behind it. Because is nepotism is not just sports. A sports thing is a everywhere thing. Like we're seeing it right now in the Virgin Islands. We're seeing it right now in the places that we work. We're seeing it, we see it everywhere. So what I think chemo means is, our own people, downplays it when it's our community, but other communities prosper off of it as far as the
For sure.
Mexicans, the Asians, all them other ethnic groups or stuff. And I wouldn't say we downplay it, is the fact that our community puts people in positions that don't have the knowledge, the education, or
Mm,
the experience to do the stuff that they're being put into
exactly.
by family members who are in those higher up positions who have that power.
Exactly. No, how is that not what I said? We want to know that it's going to benefit the team. And the
We
team
want to
could
know
be
if
in the
they're gonna benefit.
community, the village and stuff. And like you said, that's
Yes.
exactly what they do, They pick somebody at random that they did not groom, did not even teach the game for real. Like, hey, I gonna make you the finance minister over here. You ain't went school
And you
for it
know
for real.
nothing.
You were an art major, but we cool. That's my family. I'm gonna put you over there, and then the
I gonna put you
team
on.
suffers.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back off.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back off. The passion coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Nepotism
told
can
you
be a
we.
good thing or a bad thing. It depends on how it is used and how it can interfere the business, team, government. That's how we saying.
That's
That's
how.
how we
That's how we.
saying.
That's exactly what we said, Darren. That's the same thing what we say. We seen it. We
Now,
seen it firsthand in the Virgin Islands. Firsthand.
exactly. Now, nepotism can come back to bite if the. That's what we talking about. If the person
We
is not
just said that.
qualified to have skills to do the job, this
Mm-hmm.
man must have
Mm-hmm.
logged off real quick, man.
He had
Why
to.
people hate this family?
the
Why do they
the Ball
hate the
family.
balls? Pause. Why do they hate
The
the
Ball
balls?
the Ball. I think people. I don't think people necessarily hated the Ball family. I think people dislike Lavar's arrogance and how he put his sons on a pedestal, and he was like, "Yeah, my son's gonna be in the all my three sons gonna be in the NBA. They're gonna play for the Lakers. All three of them gonna play for the Lakers. All of them gonna be in LA." Da 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 da. He people people didn't like his arrogance. He was loud, arrogant, obnoxious, anything underneath the sun. You want call this man, people call this man. But what people didn't see is this man was breeding success. This man was breeding positivity, life into all his sons. And it's like, we preach about good fathers, this, good fathers that, we need good fathers in the community. This man was like an exceptional parent, an exceptional father to his children. And he had a vision, he had a dream for them, and he set out and he made that dream come true. Like I said, with just the exception of Jello, because of his legal troubles that he went through when he went in college. But 2 out of 3 of my sons make the NBA. Shit. I win. I win at the end of the day.
Exactly. So the community to eat itself, because you're mad at the man for being arrogant and his mouth and whatever. I can't be arrogant. 1.2 to 2% of NCAA Division One men's basketball players are drafted. I got 2 out of 3, and the third one would have went, and the third
The
one would have
third
made
one
it
was.
had he not have fucked it up. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't brag. I can't be
Mm-hmm.
arrogant. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like you said, he was living with his wife. He was taking care of his children. He was being a mentor, a
Mm-hmm.
coach. He was getting them branded stuff that had their name on it. He was building a
Mm-hmm.
legacy, and we vexed because the man mouth.
Because of he moped. Yeah, that's all it was. This man
And
used
I'm
to
gonna
go on
talk my
live
shit.
TV. I gonna talk my exactly. I gonna
Talk
talk
my
my shit.
shit.
I gonna talk my shit. And he used to back it up like, no, you're better than my son. Them. He used to back it up.
Exactly.
He used to stand firm and what he believed and what he said, and I couldn't be mad at it. I can't be mad at that.
Ah man, I believe Darren says I believed in him, but he became a helicopter parent, which distracted from where the attention should be on, which should be on the sons. The attention can be on the sons when they win the games.
What
Like,
Darren
score.
what Darren talking about is when he used to go on First Take. He used to be at ESPN. He used to be all over like Sports Network and just saying, oh, he could beat Michael Jordan if he and Michael Jordan were to play a 1-on-1 in his prime, he would beat Michael Jordan. He's talking about those distractions, just him, just being real obnoxious on national TV and stuff like that. But if you separate that and you actually listen to what he's saying and what he's doing, he is pretty much branding his family. He's branding his sons. Like that's probably like the most greatest genius business plan to get your son and your name out there. Like I gonna get on this TV and I gonna talk big shit.
Exactly.
Big shit.
And that'll get people talking. That'll bring the buzz to look out for the sons. Let me see what they're gonna do. They're gonna even if they do it just to prove the father wrong, they're gonna be looking.
Like, okay. They're gonna be looking.
Being in this social media space, right? It's showing me a lot. I used to be like, I won't do things to spark conversation. I just want people to like me because they like to watch what I do. But I recognize that doing certain things, Marcus, like knocking a water bottle off the stage, gets people talking. It's provocative. So if I say my sons could beat Michael Jordan, what do you think they're gonna do? No, they're gonna watch a team that they probably weren't even paying to watch before. You check what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I get it from a marketing standpoint. And I don't believe he was like that at the house. He may have been because he played a lot of roles, but you were basically upset about a father doing everything that a father should be doing. I don't understand.
Should be doing. Like when you look back at it, like nobody in the country, if you weren't living in LA, you didn't know who Chino Hills basketball was until LeVar Ball and the Ball brothers came about. You didn't know nothing about no Chino Hills. Who is Chino Hills? Chino Hills was probably one of the lowest unseeded, un-NIA school in LA. Like nobody knew who it was until Lonzo, LaMelo, and Jello got to Chino Hills, and LeVar started talking and speaking their name into existence.
Exactly. The man really was
UCLA.
That was a lot of positive affirmations, if you think about it. Really
positive. Yep. A whole bunch of positive affirmations. A whole bunch. It's like you starting to see more UCLA games on national TV when Lonzo were in UCLA. Like, bro, like, come on now. Come on.
Do you think his form of parenting made them soft? Because Darren called him a helicopter
Absolutely
parent.
Not. Absolutely not. I think it was two aspects in the house. LaVar was that tough parent, and the mom was the nurturing mom, as it should be. Like, as a father in a house, you're gonna always be the villain because you have to bring down the gavel. You have to bring down the punishments. You have to be that hard person on your kids, sons or daughters. So I feel like LaVar was a caring, nurturing father, yes, but he also was that tough.
Is he frozen or am I? Y'all let me know, please. Did he freeze up? Well, I guess that's him. Yeah, so internet acting up. But tell us what you think in the comments. And Jarvis Jerica says negativity does bring the views. And it's very true, especially these days, especially online. And did you know that the algorithm online, it actually pushes negative content to you on purpose?
Yeah, this algorithm on the internet heck wild.
You were saying something, man. Go ahead.
I was just pretty much like, LaVar was that parent, nurturing, caring, yes, as a father, but he brought the gavel down, and I know for a fact he taught his sons that tough love. Because he probably was a coach father, and when he used to go in the backyard and he used to train them or whatever, he was a coach. So I know he was real tough on them as far as the coach aspect on them. So I definitely know LaVar was, that he was that tough love parent, and the mom was just like, all right, boys, come get something to eat, chill out, take a shower. I got you.
Darren says, I don't think his parenting made them soft, but his DNA and genes made them brittle. They can't stay healthy. What do you think about it?
Darren talking. That's the Darren talking from fantasy basketball sports fan aspect of it.
Say you the
Darren
fantasy
probably
world,
don't
my
lose
boy.
few fantasy. Darren probably don't lose couple fantasy game because Alonzo or Lamelo.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand that people feel a type of way because he's braggadocious and arrogant and whatnot. However, you know who else is?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. And he became the president and is still running after 30 something counts of felony charges. Right? So why we don't have an issue? Why a man could make it to the presidency, but him having his children 2 out of 3, and it would have been a 3 for 3, would have been a three-peat had that boy not fucked up. Why he can't talk his shit for you? Even if even if he's exaggerating. But go ahead.
Like LaVar have every right to talk cash. Like if I was LaVar, I was sneaking my way somewhere in Sports Center or ESPN, and I were interrupting the airwaves, and I would talking big shit for the last time, and I would be like, I told you, and then just go off of air. Like I would have take a fine, I would have take some type of sue court date, but I will talk in my shit. I don't care.
I think he earned it. Whatever he did, it worked. So maybe more of us should do it.
Oh, definitely.
Now,
Definitely.
I wanna not rag too much on the generation behind us. Although because we have to hold ourselves accountable, right? Because the generation behind us are our children. And I think we were raised so hard, we look down on them, even though we're the ones that are like, we're trying to do everything and give them everything that we didn't have. We're kind of responsible for certain things if they cry too easy and all of that stuff. So we have to take accountability for it. It's hard finding middle ground when you were raised this way. Like you were raised on an extreme, you know what I'm saying? And then now you try and find middle ground and we waver. There's no parenting guidebook. So first of all, give yourself grace as a parent. Secondly, give your children some grace. And the reason why I say that, because in the Virgin Islands, some months ago, last year, 2023, the children showed us that they have strength. They have a lot of emotional intelligence, which we didn't have, and they have a lot more courage. Because back in the Virgin Islands last year, there was some school protests led by children, our children. And the problem, where were the parents? A lot of these protests, when children were in the schools and complex chanting AAC, 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 there were no parents. Or let me not say no. There weren't a lot of parents. There were, I think, everybody should have showed up. Everybody should have showed up. When your child is sitting in a hot classroom and then they come out and they do this and they're meeting opposition from authorities and the principal and this guy and that guy, your parents should have left work to come and be by their side. So who's really weak? If you at a job and you won't leave to stand with your child and they're in terrible conditions and you know about it. So who's the weak one? But what do you think, sir?
I gonna be devil's devil's advocate on just this one part. You was like where the parents were at. You gotta understand. We and you already understand life on the Virgin Islands is. I, I don't want to sound disrespectful. I don't want bash my home. But life on the Virgin Islands, economically and financially, is rough. So you miss a paycheck, lights getting cut, and WAPA already cutting shit left and right for no reason, or your water come off. You you want to go support your child, your boss might write you up. That might be your last write up. You get terminated, and finding a job back home is slim pickings. So I gonna be devil's advocate on that, but you are right. The parents should have been there in droves supporting their children, because we talking about years of mold, unfit teaching conditions, unfit classrooms. I could go down the list. And I went back home. When I went back home, I went back home some years ago, and I normally drive around the island, and I normally go visit my old schools that I used to go to. I went to Evelyn for elementary, kindergarten to sixth grade, Elena and Woodson, then Central. When I went to, I had no idea. When I went to Evelyn, all I see was they had just demolished it, and they had break my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, my school is not here anymore. Like, the memories I had in this school from kindergarten to sixth grade, gone. I'm like, what the hell is going on? My mother was like, oh, they had to break the school down. It's mold. It was years of mold and unclean water. And when clean drinking water, bathroom then were over flooding, feces, everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then come to find out, turn around, Elena Christian looked like a zoo. It looked like the Amazon. A jungle is full, is trees growing out the school, trees covering the school. And I'm like, yo, what's going on with my junior high school? Like, what's going on? And there's numerous schools on the territory. Charles H. Emmanuel is no more. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, what are we not doing as a community, or what is the people in these seats not doing to make sure that our kids have the adequate education, the adequate teaching, the teachers getting the adequate material to teach, the classrooms being teachable, and everything. I'm like, what is going on? And from the time I saw that, I know the Virgin Islands was in a downward spiral. And not saying that it already wasn't in a downward spiral, but just seeing the schools in those conditions, I was like, yes, this is not a good look, and stuff gonna get worse before it get better.
The sad thing is, Charles H. That's my elementary school. I'm from RDS, 88 in the building. From RDS Heights, used to walk down. That's kindergarten to sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. And I even driving through RDS and seeing that, like you
It's
said, it broke my
heartbreaking.
heart. And
Yes.
then Central ain't got no gym no more, which used to be the spot. Like, and it hurts to see these type of conditions and to know that there's no real work being done. Nobody's
Being
there working
done.
on nothing, and it's trashed.
Yep.
So I feel you,
Yep.
but I wanted for that energy that those children were putting out, that rebellious fireborn energy. I wanted it to last and
Mm-hmm.
for it to inspire the parents. So I don't want to knock the parents too hard, because like you said, they have to make difficult choices. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I
And
just
granted,
can't imagine. Go ahead.
the parents were in support, but they could only show the support from a distance, being that, hey, you got my support, you need to go out here and you need to voice your concern, but mommy and daddy have to go to work. Like, I sorry can't be out there with you. Food gotta be put on the table, these lights gotta be
Yeah.
paid, but I am there with you in spirit. Or what? I know for a fact parents were out there saying that. or why they
paying
couldn't
for
be out there.
services. They're paying for services that are also inadequate, though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
bro, Arta gone too. Arta Riches ain't no more.
Arthur, ain't no more Arthur, dude. That's why
What?
like is so. I think Paul B is the if anybody in the chat could correct me, Paul B is the new Elena. I want to say Juanita is a new Elena. It is either or. I think Juanita goes from kindergarten to 8th grade. So I think that's a new
What?
Elena. And I think Paul B goes from kindergarten to 8th grade as well too. I can't remember what my mother had told me. So is one of the two. I think Ricardo doing the same thing, or I think Ricardo. I don't think Ricardo. I think Ricardo still goes to 6th grade, but I think Woodson is the only public junior high. Oh, see, Jerica said it's split
What?
between Paul B and Juanita.
Oh, they should not have kindergartners and 8th graders in the same school. Oh,
So,
okay.
so that I'm
Okay.
like, yo, this is crazy.
Um, okay.
This is crazy. You see,
It's a
it's emotional because it's heartbreaking. I'm like, yo, what is
it
my home
is,
coming to?
but it's been a long time in the making. You check right saying like it's not something that happens overnight, and we need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
It
that
starts.
to, go ahead, go ahead.
It starts from it's if our Virgin Islanders want to see change, it has to start from getting those people out of the Senate, because I'm seeing the same faces I've been seeing since I was going elementary. You probably been seeing the same faces you were seeing since you were going elementary and all throughout school. You've been seeing the same people in the same seats doing the same bullshit over and over and over. And I'm like, why y'all going out to vote for it if y'all going to keep putting these same people in the same positions and they're going to do the same things? Like, y'all need to see new faces, new ideas, and not even some new faces, but younger faces. Like, we need younger faces in the Senate and people who going, bring great ideas or great innovation to the island instead of the same old people who just in them seats and just collecting a check and just not caring.
We ain't gonna get too political tonight. You might have to
Facts.
come back for that one. So
I'm definitely
basically,
going. I definitely gotta come back for that one.
that's what's up. To bring it back around full circle, basically the children, we may see them as weak, but they have strengths that we didn't have because we were brought up a certain way. So we just need to
Facts.
learn how to balance those things. Because, like I said, they have a lot of emotional intelligence. They're not
Mm-hmm.
putting up with stuff that we were willing to
We
put up
put up
with.
with.
You work hard and you die. That was
Yep.
our thing. They ain't doing that no more, and that's a good
No.
thing. You see.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, can you tell the people, if you want, how to reach you, and basically just give your final words what you want to lead the people with, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, pretty much everybody who was in the chat, pretty much me and them went to school together, grew up together. They follow me on Facebook and everything. I've been trying to start up my own little, podcast, but kind of hard to find, or not really hard to find, but it's kind of hard to put out content consistently because me myself, I'm a working parent and I work sometimes 2 jobs, sometimes 4 jobs. So whenever I'm on Facebook, I post whatever is on my mind at the time, and I go from there. So I mean, if anybody interested in, starting up a pod, starting up a nice little discussion board or whatever the case may be on, this platform for Facebook Live or whatever the case may be, I are for it. We have to get our generation, the millennials in our generation have to get our voice out, have to get our concerns out, and have to get everything out, and we have to pass the knowledge on to the younger generation. Because we were once their age and we've been we've been going to school in these bad conditions and we really couldn't do anything. It was strikes here and there, yes and that, yes, or whatever the case may be, but look at the conditions of the school now. Them strikes really didn't mean nothing. They went on deaf ears. It looked like they were in vain. So we as the millennials and the new pretty much generation and the new adults, we need to really like pull our foot down and we need to really like get these people out of these seats, get some new faces in these seats, some new younger faces in these seats, start, bringing up ideas, whatever the case may be, so our island could get back to the glory days it once was, or close to it. So if anybody want to hit me up, my inbox is always open. Hit me up if you want to start up something like what Ja is doing right now is real great. I appreciate it. All the different topics, all the different discussions. I am here for it. I'm tuned in whenever he posts it. This is a real good look and a real good start for us to get our voice out. Maybe one day it'll get out back to the Virgin Islands to where somebody in a higher seat may see it and they really put it into consideration.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Daddy Duty calling. Hey, another guest. So thank you so much, Kheri. Our DMs is open as well to everybody in the chat. We want to thank you for coming through. We appreciate you. You know who I am. That's Kheri. I'm Ja. This same difference. We love you. We out. Peace.